The ham is cooked. You've likely heard the news by now. The Los Angeles Lakers fired head coach Darvin Ham after 2 drama-filled seasons. Under Ham, the team reached the Western Conference Finals last season, and they won the in-season tournament this year. Inconsistent lineups and too much experimentation with personnel, combined with a lack of locker room support, led to the frustration and the eventual firing of Darvin Ham. But whatever the cause, the future is what matters the most for Lakers fans and this Los Angeles organization. So what's next? Well, in today's video, we are talking all about that. I'm going to give you the 10 most realistic names that I think will be considered for this top job. This is one of the most coveted coaching positions in the NBA, so there is lots to unpack with today's video. So thank you so much for tuning into the channel today. My name is Troy. This is the Half Court Report. Make sure you drop a like on this video to help support the channel and hit subscribe. Coming at you with fresh NBA content several times a week. So let's get into it. I'm going to run through an article that Sam Quinn from CBS Sports put together, and then I'm going to offer some of my own thoughts too. And number 1 on the list is a familiar name, Tyron Lue. Now, he's an obvious guy to put on this list just because he's well-liked by a lot of people in the Lakers organization. He's currently employed with the Clippers, but with them now eliminated from the playoffs, we can expect his future with the other LA team to become much clearer. Coaches of his stature practically never coach through contract years, which is what next year would be. And it's worth noting that the NBA does not seem to believe that Tyron Lue is tied to his current team. There was actually buzz suggesting interest from both the Bucks and the Suns last offseason. And LeBron James has spoken very favorably about Tyron Lue in the past. So, if he is available, he would be one of the top guys on the market and one of the likeliest to be able to gel with LeBron and AD. The Lakers will let this situation with the Clippers play out before making their decision, but I think if it were up to them, he would be the next coach of this team. Number 2 on my list, Mike Budenholzer. He's a great coach, and all of his teams are always very well prepared. They shoot the 3, they defend the basket, they rarely foul, they rebound. No coach in the NBA over the past 10 years has built a more reliable regular season system than what Coach Bud can do. If he's the coach of a healthy team, it's going to perform at or above expectations. All 5 of his Milwaukee teams won 60% or more of their games. And of course, he took the Bucks to that 2021 NBA title. Every team hiring a coach this offseason is going to reach out to Budenholzer, but there is one minor speed bump. Darvin Ham used to be on Coach Budenholzer's staff with the Hawks and with the Bucks, so the Lakers might have some reservations on bringing in a coach with that similar style and philosophy. And who knows, Darvin Ham might go to Coach Bud and say, "You do not want to coach this team. Run as far away as you can." So we'll see what happens. Number 3 on my list is Jaan Howard. So he was most recently let go as the head coach of the University of Michigan, but he is a desirable head coaching candidate in the NBA. He spent 6 years under Eric Spoelstra with the Miami Heat, and he's already proven that he is a highly sought-after, at least assistant coach. He accepted a job on Jordi Fernandez's Brooklyn staff just a couple months ago, and it was also reported that he was the top choice for the Lakers job in 2022 before they hired Darvin Ham. He was also interviewed in 2019 as well. So I think he would be seen as a compromise between LeBron James, who played with Howard in Miami, and general manager Rob Pelinka, who played with Howard at Michigan. It's unclear if Howard's last few years at the University of Michigan have affected his standing within the Lakers, but he's a name to watch, and I think he will be a factor in this coaching search. Number 4 on the list is Phil Handy. When there were rumors surrounding Darvin Ham's job security during the season, Handy was viewed as the likely replacement. The Lakers value him so much for his abilities that they actually kept him on Darvin Ham's staff after they fired Frank Vogel. Handy himself has spoken of his desire to be a head coach one day, and maybe the time for him is now. Maybe the Lakers view him more as a skills coach than a head coach. We'll have to see about that. It is hard to say, but if nothing else, I think he's going to have some internal support within the Lakers organization. Number 5 on the list, David Adelman. Hey, if you can't beat him, join him, because he is currently one of the top assistants with the Denver Nuggets. Adelman has drawn credit for his role in designing Denver's elite offense. His father was Hall of Fame coach Rick Adelman. I remember him for a number of years with the Sacramento Kings and Houston Rockets. So this coaching gene seems to run in the family. David Adelman has interviewed for head coaching jobs in the past, and a lot of guys who have coached under Mike Malone, the current Denver coach, have gone on to bigger and better things. So it seems like Adelman would be the next in line for that. The Lakers would likely prefer not to hire a first-timer, but Adelman's expertise against Denver might make him a worthwhile exception. And we have seen success in the NBA of first-time head coaches succeeding really, really well. Just look at Taylor Jenkins in Memphis, look at Mazzulla in Boston, and even the Oklahoma City Thunder, their coach, just won Coach of the Year. Number 6 on the list, J.J. Redick. Now, this guy has absolutely no coaching experience, but that hasn't been for lack of interest. Joe Mazzulla in Boston said publicly that he tried to have Redick on his staff. The Raptors interviewed him for their head coaching job last year. The Hornets have done so this year for their vacant position. So there are lots of teams interested in what he could bring to a head coaching job. If you watch him as a broadcaster, you'll see that he tries to introduce X's and O's into the conversation. So he's definitely a really good basketball mind. He even hosts a podcast with none other than LeBron James called Mind the Game, where they break down NBA schemes and offenses and defenses. But I do think he's cut out to be an NBA coach someday, and he has LeBron's approval, so it could be one of the more out-of-the-box hires. Number 7 on the list is Terry Stotts. He was a finalist the last time the Lakers hired a coach. He didn't get the job, and he has barely worked since then, except for a brief stint as an assistant with the Bucks earlier this year. But he does have a strong coaching resume. Even though he's never reached the finals, he has done just about everything else as a head coach, with his stops in Atlanta, Milwaukee, and Portland. If they went with Coach Stotts, would probably be a pretty solid hire. Number 8 on the list, Kenny Atkinson. His last foray into big market coaching collapsed because he seemingly couldn't connect with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving as the coach of the Nets. But he's been cautious about taking another opportunity since then. He actually accepted the Hornets job last year before changing his mind and going back to Golden State to be an assistant. So he's not in any rush to go anywhere, but he does have history with D'Angelo Russell, turning him into an all-star when he was in Brooklyn. So maybe that holds some appeal as a developmental coach for the Lakers. His offenses have been pick-and-roll heavy, and players tended to take the right shots. Both of those were issues with Darvin Ham. So I think he could get a look for this position. Number 9 on the list, Frank Vogel. Hey, if it didn't work the first time, try it again. After all, Vogel did win a championship with the Lakers, so it wouldn't be a terrible hire. Right now, he's still under contract with the Phoenix Suns, but if they decide to part ways with Vogel, that could leave open an opportunity for him to make it back to the Lakers. And if you look at the Lakers' last 2 years, would it have been a better decision just to keep Frank Vogel as opposed to going after Darvin Ham? I think if a lot of the Lakers management was honest, then they would say, yeah, we probably should have just kept him. He knows the players, he knows the system, could happen again. And finally, number 10 on the list, none other than player coach LeBron James. So if LeBron is going to hire and fire coaches and consult on personnel moves, why not just make it official, hire him as a player coach? Bill Russell won 2 titles as a player coach with the Celtics, so hey, it can be done. I remember when I was a kid, Tree Rollins was a player coach for the Orlando Magic. Maybe LeBron could break even more ground, become even more accomplished in NBA lore if he adds some titles to his resume as a player coach. He's already done everything else. Why not this? And if the Lakers somehow add Bronny James in the upcoming draft, seeing LeBron coach his son would give YouTubers like me more content than we could ever handle. Guys, that's my list. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are there any names I left out? Who do you want coaching the purple and gold. If you've watched this far, make sure you drop a like for the YouTube algorithm and hit that subscribe button too so you never miss another NBA video from me. You know, the Lakers are out of the playoffs, but I am loving what I'm seeing with some of these teams, especially the Minnesota Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards. Man, oh man, this guy is getting Michael Jordan comparisons, and if you watch him play, it's kind of easy to see why. He is taking over games, he's defending the team's best player, and he is doing highlight plays night after night. I had to do a whole video on it, break down his game and what the Timberwolves are doing, and how the Denver Nuggets may be in trouble in their next playoff series when they face Minnesota. Check that out. Let me know what you think, and I will catch you next time on Half Court Report.